So in today's video we're looking at the quite a scarce item that doesn't pop up often, and it's the DV Czechoslovakian baby's gas mask. I will let you know that there isn't much information surrounding this particular gas mask, so I'm only going to give you like what I know, which I would refer to as the basic information. I usually get my information off a website that catalogues gas masks in their system and, you know, has the information surrounding them. But because this is such a scarce item, you can imagine that there isn't much information available, and that happens to be the case. In fact, there's more information available about its brother respirator than there is about this one itself. And I say brother because there was two versions pretty much of these manufactured, and we will take a look at them. However, there has been two of these pop up recently in the last few days for sale on certain UK military websites for a fair amount. I can't remember off the top of my head how much, but they weren't too expensive, they weren't too cheap. So if you do happen to come across one of these for a good price, I paid £60 for this, and that was quite a while back. If you manage to come for one of these, and if you manage to find one of these for a good price and then snap it up, personally I would have paid more for this because of the scarcity of the item, and obviously it depends on how much you really want one. But like I say, I would have been happy to pay a fair amount more for one of these. I think, and then I'll say, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think there is one on a certain website for about £95. Whether you want to spend that much, that's up to you. But they are quite nice to have in the collection. I got this one about early 2025, early 2026, or it might have been late 2025, one or two, for, well, you know how much. So if you can get one for around the £60 mark, you know, if you don't want to pay full price for one, or what it's being sold for, then, you know, grab one while you can. Now, I will say this isn't a complete example, but it has its components present. So anyhow, this is the quite scarce, the DV-52 Czechoslovakian baby's gas mask, which was introduced in the early 1950s and was a respirator meant for use, of course, with babies up to the age of 1 year old. Also introduced in around the same time, about 1952, was the DK-52 respirator for use with children up to 4 years old. Now, the DK-52 appears to have not been issued in large quantities, which we can safely say for the DV-52, this example here. Hence, the scarcity of both respirators. This is likely explained by the scarcity of rubber shortages, the scarcity of rubber during the post-war period and general economic decline in Czechoslovakia. And the set for the DK-52, when I go off a lot of information surrounding the DK-52, because they are pretty much the same with some changes here and there, but we'll go into that, except the components are pretty much the same. So whatever I say about the DK-52, like let's say the set on the DK-52, which I'm about to tell you, would have been likely exactly the same for this, the DV-52. I hope that makes sense. So anyhow, the set for the DK-52 consisted of several pieces, that being the jacket, which we have on this set, the hose, which we have, the filter, which we have. We don't have the instruction booklet, but we have the storage box, the hand operated bellows that you're not going to see, but it's attached to the bottom of the filter there. You'll get a look later on. And that is it. But we don't have the instructions. And if you do Google this, you probably won't find any pictures of it either. The only thing that you'll see is pictures of the DK-52 and its instructions. So we can only imagine what the instructions were like. Probably the same, in all fairness. All the components seem to match up here and there. Anyhow, the jacket is likely made of the same material of that of the DK-52, which was rubberized grey fabric, with a few Bakelite pieces, that being the hose attachment, as you can see there, and the exhale valve, which was also Bakelite. And you're not going to see it well because it's all folded up in its box. When I get it out, you'll be able to see it. But that's the exhale valve there. And that is also a Bakelite piece, a brown Bakelite piece, surprisingly. The rest of it is black Bakelite. Anyhow, unlike the DK-52, the DV-52 does not have the sleeves, and the visor is round, not square, as on the DK-52. So obviously, as a baby's gas mask, you don't need sleeves going out the sides, because, you know, it's unnecessary. I don't know what the change for the visor was, but these were round instead of square. It's possible that these were designed of that of the German Gasjacken, as they look quite similar, and these, in all fairness, do look quite similar to the German Gasjacken, which was the German baby's gas mask during World War II. Both the DV-52 and DK-52 were issued in a cardboard box, which we have present, like I said, which its bits and bobs were wrapped in a wax paper. As you can see, these are not. It's not known when the end of the production was, but it's likely short-lived. It's said that the DK-52 ended production in 1960. When this one ended production, not sure, maybe about the same time. But I think that the DK-52 was replaced by the DK-68, if memory serves. But anyhow, what we're going to do is we're going to actually get this out of its box. It's quite a large size. It's actually bigger, or slightly bigger than the British World War II baby's gas mask in its length. So we're going to get this out and we'll take a look at its components one by one. So this is the DV. Oop, I put it out and it wants to fall over. It's that bloody big. Don't know if I'll stay there. So anyway, that is the DV-52 gas mask all unravelled, and you can see how blooming big it is. It goes up the back of the sofa. They probably wouldn't even fit if I put it wrong ways as well, because that's how blooming big this thing is, and it wants to keep falling down. So anyhow, the bugger will stay up. There we go. So that's the DV-52. Hopefully it doesn't fall down again, probably jinxed it, but that's the DV-52 all unravelled. And you can see we've got the box, the hose, the filter and the jacket itself, and you can see why it looks quite similar to the German Gasjacken, so to speak. But yeah, we will take a look at it. To have a look at it, probably have to take you off the stand, because it's that it's that bloody massive. Obviously, the holes would connect to the attachment on there in the filter. So what would happen is this would go up in there, and I hope you can see what I'm doing. Let it go, if you can get it in. That will go in there, and that would screw like so. Hopefully that's as you can see, that's how the thing will go together. I haven't completely screwed that on, but you can see that will go in there, then that hose will come around and connect onto the filter. And you can see it is quite a cumbersome piece. So that's how it will go. That visor piece there is not plastic, it's made from glass, which in my opinion wouldn't shatter, but that's the design. That is a glass visor. You've got your Bakelite exhale valve, like I said, and all your odds and ends. So what you've also got is the lace. Hopefully this will stand up. You've got the lace to tighten the thing, and you've got your slot here. That your baby goes in, that the child is put into your slot, that goes in there, and obviously it's all buttoned down and whatever. I don't know whether these, like I say, there's not much information how these will go, but I think it's a securing mechanism. As you can see, it's a bit dirty, but it is in very good condition for its age. You've got your, hopefully you'll see it, but you've got your bellows. That would be pumped. I'm not going to do it because of, well, the contents of the filter maybe. And that would be pumped through these rubber bellows. The markings on the filter are on there. That is 1953, 52 maybe, 53 I think. That might be, no, 1952 I think on there. And you've got your maker's details, of course. That bellows just, I'm not going to do it, but that just pops off, and you've got the filter itself. The hose is nicely stamped up. 1952 on the hose. The mask itself, I'll give you a reverse image of it. That's your two connectors, your Bakelite connectors. So what I'll do is I will show you the markings, or there's one marking at least. That is on there, and that's 1953. You're not going to see it well, sadly. That is 1953 on there. It's very hard to see it because it's faded, but that's your stamp on there. So what I'll do is I'll spin it around and give you a reverse image of the back. So here's the back of the thing, and I think those buttons actually, I don't know whether it folds up and then those buttons go on there. I'm not too, or that might be for putting the baby inside, because you can see over the years it's been folded instead, and that's why you got those creases and lines. It's a bit of a pain to put away, but you know, that's the back of it. So anyhow, that is the DV-52. I might, like I say, might be the only person putting this on this platform, but if you manage to come across one for a good price, snap it up for your collection. And that's pretty much all the information, unfortunately, that I've got about it, or I think it is anyway. Let me just double check my notes. Yeah, that believes to be all the information I've got. I do think that sometime they changed to metal ghost attachments, but like I say, the examples I've seen are with this black Bakelite. So a bit of a long-winded video, because there was a lot to see, but yeah, it is quite an interesting piece, and I'm glad I've now featured it on this YouTube channel. And now I'm going to have to put it all away, and that's the pain in the bum. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you actually learned something. I hope you enjoyed having a look at this. I will get around to doing videos more often. I've just done a video on my Royal Flying Corps swords, which is what I'm on now. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.